Hi, this is Yvonne Galusha, and I'm introducing Visual Studio Assignment 7. So on Assignment 7, you're going to take your Visual Studio 6 assignment, and you're going to make some modifications. We want to incorporate on client side input validation and make the input validation more robust. If you don't already, you need to have a date field and a dollar amount field on your web form, as well as address. Going on then, you want to use those built-in ASP.NET validation controls as well as regular expressions. So for example, here, if you enter something and it's the wrong thing, see it's telling you it has to be in the date format. So if I enter something that's correct, that just disappears. Down here, if I'm entering alpha characters, you see it's saying that it has to be a number, an amount greater than 0. Similarly, if I do not enter a valid email address, it's saying right away these email addresses must match. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab some information to speed this demonstration up. You get the idea that you want to use correct input validation. Now, there is something else here. Well, you can see what's happening. I have input validation fields on all of these text boxes. So it's wanting this to be in the proper format. I've designated my phone numbers need to have a dash. See, and I'm giving an example over here in the error message. It doesn't like Iowa City. So that is something that you don't have to worry about for this assignment, making it so robust to accept spaces and other special characters that are sometimes in city names. We'll leave it as long as you just accept alpha. That's acceptable for that field. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this donation, but I want to demonstrate something else that you need to modify on this page. You need to incorporate, let me make this slightly smaller so I can see my buttons over here a little better. You want to incorporate this little checkbox so that you can learn how to do auto postback. So what is auto postback? What happens is you sometimes have an event handler associated with a checkbox or a drop-down list or some other field, and it goes and does something, and usually it's to assist the user on filling in some things or doing additional checks, and then it comes right back so the user can continue and proceed setting up prior to doing the submit button. So let's kind of go over how that works. So now I'm making another donation amount, and what's important here is it's going to key off of the email address. So I'm typing it in because I don't want to auto-populate any of my fields, because what I'm doing here is I'm using that email address to do a check in the collection list to see if the user has already entered their address information. So if I check this, you see what happened? It went and it found that this email address was already in the collection list, so then it auto-populated the rest of the fields. So that is what you need to additionally add. It's going to require a new event handler, as well as, of course, this checkbox view control. And then you're going to have, of course, code that searches your list to see if there's a match. It finds a match on the entry. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. And the final thing, so it's kind of 3 areas of addition for this Visual Studio Assignment 7, is on the output. So on the output, you may notice I've added more fields. I've also set it up so that currency is displaying with the dollar. Now this doesn't look that different, but what I'm requiring you to do is to use server-side embedded inline tags to populate from the collection list. And I will give you additional video help on how to do that in class material. So this is just an introduction to the next Visual Studio assignment. Let me know if you have any questions.